The wedding invitation had arrived only 3 days earlier, and everyone in town expected it to be another glamorous celebration hosted by billionaire CEO Cedric Hawthorne. No one imagined that the quiet woman hired to cook meals for his aging father would become the reason his carefully guarded heart finally opened again. If stories about kindness, hope, forgiveness, and second chances inspire you, please like this video, leave a comment, share it with someone you love, and subscribe to our channel to become part of our growing family and community. Cedric Hawthorne had built one of the largest construction companies in the country before turning 45. Newspapers praised his business instincts, but those closest to him knew another truth. Since losing his wife to a sudden illness 5 years earlier, he had become emotionally distant. He spoke only when necessary, avoided celebrations, and spent nearly every daylight hour buried in meetings. The only person he still cared for deeply was his 80-year-old father, Harold, whose health had slowly declined after a stroke. Harold refused to move into a nursing home, so Cedric hired nurses, therapists, and private chefs. None of them stayed for long. Harold complained they treated him like another task instead of another human being. One bright Monday morning, a local community center recommended a woman named Claire Whitmore. She was a widow raising her 12-year-old son, Owen, while working as a cook. Claire wasn't famous for fancy recipes. She was known for remembering people's favorite meals and serving them with genuine warmth. She accepted the temporary position because she desperately needed the income after losing her restaurant job. The first afternoon, Claire quietly prepared homemade vegetable soup, fresh bread, and apple pie using Harold's late wife's handwritten recipe that she found tucked inside an old cookbook. When Harold tasted the meal, tears quietly rolled down his cheeks. It wasn't because the food was perfect. It reminded him of happier afternoons when his family gathered around the table without worrying about money or success. Cedric noticed the change immediately. His father, who had barely spoken for weeks, suddenly smiled. He laughed at old memories and even walked outside with his cane to enjoy the sunshine. Cedric thanked Claire politely before returning to work, but she sensed enormous sadness hiding behind his calm expression. Over the following weeks, Claire became part of Harold's daily routine. She never treated him like a patient. She invited him to help knead bread, asked about his childhood, and encouraged him to teach Owen how to play chess whenever the boy visited after school. Slowly, the quiet mansion began to feel like a home again. Cedric watched everything from a distance. Every afternoon, as he returned from meetings, he found his father happier than he had been in years. One day he noticed Harold laughing so hard during lunch that he nearly spilled his tea. Cedric couldn't remember the last time he'd heard that sound. Curious, he began staying home for lunch occasionally. Claire always served everyone together, refusing to separate herself from the family. She believed meals were meant to unite people. At first Cedric barely spoke, but Harold insisted everyone share one happy memory before leaving the table. Those simple conversations slowly chipped away at the walls Cedric had built around his heart. One afternoon, while organizing old photographs, Harold suddenly became weak. Claire reacted immediately, helping him sit comfortably while calling his physician. The doctor later explained that her quick response had prevented a much more serious medical emergency. Cedric was deeply grateful. For the first time in years, fear reminded him that money could never replace someone who genuinely cared. As spring flowers bloomed across the estate, Cedric found himself looking forward to returning home instead of staying late at the office. He admired Claire's quiet strength. She never sought praise or expensive gifts. Every decision she made came from compassion. She worked hard, cared for her son, and still found time to brighten Harold's days. One sunny afternoon Harold quietly confessed that he wasn't afraid of growing old anymore. He was only afraid his son would spend the rest of his life hiding from happiness. Those words stayed with Cedric long after the conversation ended. A few days later, Cedric accidentally discovered Claire repairing Owen's worn backpack with careful stitches instead of buying a new one because she couldn't afford it. She never complained about her struggles or asked anyone for help. Her dignity impressed him more than any successful executive ever had. Wanting to repay her kindness, Cedric offered a generous bonus. Claire thanked him but requested something different. She asked if he could create apprenticeship opportunities for young people from struggling families who simply needed someone to believe in them. Cedric was stunned. Faced with wealth beyond imagination, she had chosen hope for strangers instead of comfort for herself. Her request changed the direction of his company. Within months, Hawthorne Construction launched a nationwide apprenticeship program that trained hundreds of young workers, giving them stable careers instead of temporary jobs. Harold proudly called it the finest achievement his son had ever accomplished. As Cedric and Claire spent more time together during community events, they discovered they shared the same belief: true success wasn't measured by money but by the lives improved along the way. Their friendship quietly became something deeper. Neither rushed it. Both understood the value of healing before beginning again. On a bright autumn afternoon, Harold invited family friends to the garden for lunch. Standing beneath golden trees, he smiled as Cedric finally admitted that life had given him another chance to love. Instead of a grand speech, Cedric simply thanked Claire for bringing light back into a house filled with silence. Months later, surrounded by Harold, Owen, close friends, and grateful apprentices whose lives had changed, Cedric asked Claire to marry him. She accepted with tears of joy, knowing their future wasn't built on wealth but on compassion, trust, and second chances. Before we finish, tell us in the comments, what do you believe matters more, great success or genuine kindness? Your answer may encourage someone reading today. If this story touched your heart, please like this video, leave a meaningful comment, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to our channel so you never miss another emotional journey. Remember, fortunes can build houses, but only love, kindness, and selfless hearts can truly build a home where every soul feels welcome.